All right, welcome back to Study Hall. This is episode what, two?
Two, yeah,
Two,
technically two.
yes, it is two. It is
Yeah,
two. Yeah. First of all, it's been a while since we've done an episode, so we finished our junior year.
yeah, that was insanely hard to finish up.
Yeah, I mean we were both pretty stressed out, and I think junior year definitely has some challenges that we didn't
Yeah.
expect in sophomore year. And it is something that's kind of interesting because I felt like, some people definitely thought that junior year was easy, right?
Yeah,
Some people thought it was really easy. Some people thought it was really hard. It kind of depends on what courses you were
Yeah.
taking.
So about the courses, I guess the AP. I guess it also depends on like which APs you're taking, because if you guys may not have heard, at least at the time of recording, the AP score distributions just came out, and
Not all of them have come out yet.
yeah, but just looking at how they are, a lot of the courses seem like people didn't do so well, or as well as people hoped.
Yeah. I think definitely the AP CSP, I believe, score distribution was not very good.
Yeah. I
But we'll
expect
see.
CSA to be a bit less as well.
No, CSA was pretty good. CSA is already out.
Oh,
CSA
CSA,
was,
okay, yeah.
was okay.
All right, yeah.
I mean, 23% fives. But
Oh, damn.
you know.
Okay, yeah.
then again, CSA can be a little bit higher on the score distribution as, seen through other years, right?
Yeah. I sort of heard is comparatively easier in terms of the exam,
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
you don't have the project portion.
Definitely, yeah. The project portion can add a lot to it. But I just want to go through, how did junior year feel?
It felt like it was definitely just like a trudge through. Like I don't know much about what happened during junior year, because focusing so much on classes, the classes
Mhm.
seemed like the majority of the actual year. At least for me, I was taking like almost, if not all, honors classes, except for one maybe. And that was at least stressful for me, just because back to back homework and juggling different classes. So I feel like it was a lot of it just getting through it, motion of the ocean, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was. At least for me, it felt a little bit. I feel like since sophomore year, I've sort of blurred out that second semester,
Yeah.
because second semester just gets really complicated and
Yeah.
generally hard. At least for me. Some people might not agree. I feel like some people are generally better at school and just generally learning than me. I don't have the motivation to learn anymore for at least the Spanish. I hate
So
Spanish.
I hate Spanish. Sorry if my Spanish teacher sees this. I'm so sorry, but I hate that class.
Yeah, I do not like Spanish at all. It is I think, I don't know. For me, I had no motivation to learn Spanish. I
Me
know some
neither.
people, especially maybe native Spanish speakers, felt like they had a reason to learn Spanish, but most of the people in the class are just learning for
The credits.
the credits and for the UC
Yeah.
credits.
At least for us, at least for our school, we have the requirement that you have to take. I think it was 3 years of a foreign language.
So not necessarily, because it's either foreign language or arts. So you can take the arts. So you've already finished your credits through
Yeah.
tech.
Yeah.
So it's just the UC.
Yeah.
AUCs want a foreign language.
The A through G's.
Yeah, it's not. They just want a foreign language basically.
Which I feel is kind of, at least it makes sense for some fields, but not all. Like, at least for us, I feel like it sort of makes sense because we're also learning languages, but just like not like languages. But like, I feel like for a lawyer, why would they need to know like a foreign language?
Well, I mean, definitely clients are not always English speaking, especially in the U.S., especially in
Yeah.
California, where we have a lot of Spanish speaking
Yeah.
clients. So a lot of times those lawyers might need to know a little bit of Spanish to be able to translate or talk to their clients, know what what they need to discuss in court, and help them out as much as possible. And so Spanish can come into. I mean, it's not like learning a language is good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You
No, for
can-
sure it's good. But I feel like the way they teach it for us in our schools, at least for me, Spanish 4, it felt kind of odd the way we were learning, because we weren't learning the language per se. We were learning about like gang violence in America that pertains to like Spanish history or Mexican history, or about like food and culture, and like how how bugs in our diet can be good. That was an actual topic. So I feel like that's kind of like that doesn't make sense, at least for me.
Well, I think that's sort of like a Spanish 4 thing, right? The Spanish 4 thing is to teach more than just the language. It's the more language and culture, right? Spanish 1 through 3 is all about the languages and getting a handle on the language itself, while Spanish 4 is more of culture, right? Like sort of more about the Spanish speaking world than the actual language itself. I heard it described as more of a humanities 9 course
Yeah.
than anything else.
And I feel like on that topic as well, it's more closely resemblant of AP Spanish rather than Spanish 1,
Yes,
2,
I
and
believe
3.
there is I don't know, maybe I might be wrong, but I feel like there was two AP Spanishes, right?
I think there's only one AP Spanish that, at least for us, we're
We
only
only
given.
have one AP Spanish,
Yeah.
but I feel like in some schools, especially one of my friend's schools, he's taking AP Spanish 4 right now. Like his Spanish 4 is an AP course.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, and there's also one or more apparently. I don't know. I might be wrong. But apparently there's also one more. But I could be very much wrong. I haven't researched this yet.
Me neither. I think it could be just like a oral and then a cultural class.
Yeah,
AP.
maybe. I don't know.
Who knows?
Okay. One thing that I wanted to say is that we are going to be starting to put citations. So anytime we talk about a quote, we're going to put a little citation in the corner of the video. One of those sides we'll decide in post. And there'll also be a citation document. Usually there won't be that many. There'll only be like 2 or 3 quotes, but sometimes there may be some more tech-heavy videos. We might add some citations on after the fact. So we might say some quotes and we'll put the citations for those, but we might put some extra details maybe on the screen in which we will put a citation for. So maybe about 3 to 5 quotes, right? Yes,
Yeah.
I know it's not an essay, but we want to have a little bit of
Yeah.
academics in here.
And on the topic of that as well, if we have any editor's notes or things we want to add in afterwards, stuff that changes the changes after the video comes out, we can add that to the document as well, so that it can stay up to date for anyone who watches the videos in the future.
Yeah, so we'll try to keep it up to date, and obviously we will make a correction form as well if
Yep.
someone wants to fill that out and basically just tell us if we've made a mistake in the video, and we'll
Yep.
put a little correction in the sheet. Also, do you want to talk about what's happening in 2 episodes?
Oh yeah, so in about 2 episodes, we'll be having a guest speaker.
We have a guest mic set up already. We're gonna have a wireless. The guest speaker will sit somewhere off camera. There'll be a camera on them at the
Yeah.
time, but we have another mic so that And this is actually a setup for another thing. We have
In I think 3 episodes.
3 episodes. We have a VRC episode with full body tracking. We're gonna try that out. We've
Yep.
been building some full body tracking, so that's sort of been a project for both of us, and that's
And if we want, we can add some like pictures like here or wherever we add them.
maybe
Yeah.
we'll add them. I don't know. Yeah, we'll have a full segment on
Yeah.
the next on the not next episode, but in that VRC episode where we actually show you the process of making these
Yep.
full body tracking using Slime VR, and we'll go into more depth of that obviously in that VRC episode. But that's more like a project episode than anything else.
Yeah.
This summer is also going to be pretty cool. We are doing 4 episodes this summer.
Yeah, so this summer we are trying to just pump out as many videos as possible for people to watch.
Yeah, so every month there'll be a new episode. We're going to
Yeah.
do 1 month every month. This episode will come out in July. The next episode will come out in August. The next
Yep.
episode will come out in September. And then after that, obviously in October.
Yeah. And just so we can keep a steady schedule, and that should hopefully get us all the way into second semester of senior year.
Yeah, a second semester in senior year. And then at that point, we'll have even more
Yeah.
episodes. And maybe we might even go past our 4 episodes this summer.
Yeah.
We might do a 5th episode if time permits and we both have time.
Yeah.
But obviously, college apps are coming soon, and yeah, especially let's talk about college apps just for these, a couple of seconds here. What are you doing with college apps? Are you starting them yet?
Yeah, so starting them and brainstorming, but of course, like all things, it's going to take time, and researching is always a pain. But through it all, you learn stuff, you don't learn stuff, and it's kind of a fun process, honestly, because you kind of get to be like a detective in your own self and learn stuff about yourself and what colleges want, what kind of colleges you like and would like to be on, just the general life in your future, stuff like that. So it's pretty fun.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm definitely like I've started some I've started some like general college research and started writing some of my UC PIQs because those are sort of the most time consuming.
Yeah.
But talking about yourself is really difficult,
Yeah.
right?
Because you have to balance it in the way that you're not like kind of snarky, but also you're selling yourself. So you have to be like, it's hard to word it in a way.
Yeah, I mean, it does get difficult to word it. I definitely think that, sometimes just, I think it's not just about writing about yourself. It's about trying to dig up details about
Yeah.
yourself that'll like it's like a glaze session.
Yeah.
It is like a couple month long of just glazing yourself and trying to make it so that colleges want you,
Yeah.
right? So, talking about college apps, we are in the summer between junior year and senior year, right? What are your sort of plans for the rest of the summer?
So yeah, in this summer, I'm actually going to be at a program called Cosmos in one of the UCs. I'm researching or studying a topic on communications.
Nice.
That should be fun because it's a lot of math.
It is a lot of math. I mean, when you get into communications, it gets into some complicated math.
And especially when I was applying for it, one of the prerequisites that was talking about was linear algebra. And if you know me, then I'm kind of a math oriented guy. I kind of love math.
Yeah.
You might know that in my school at least, I've been taking calculus. I've been actually not just surviving but thriving in that class because I researched it or not research. I studied it all over last summer.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this is kind of just like kind of thing I like to do. So it should be a fun class.
Yeah. Now, one of the fun topics. This is kind of what I wrote. We've been talking about this for I think like a year now.
Yeah, we've been talking about this longer than we've been talking about the podcast.
Yeah,
honestly.
this is like the like everyone at one point wants to go to Japan.
Yeah.
Like and we want to do that too. Now, if you've seen Ludwig and Michael's, have you watched Tip to Tip?
Not fully, but I've heard a lot about it from you and just in general.
Yeah, you should definitely watch Tip to Tip.
Yeah.
I mean, it is I think one of the best ways to experience Japan is to just go from obviously we're not gonna do the same thing, but like from the bottom to the top, right? Looking at every single part of Japan, maybe not every single part, but a good amount, and without using a smartphone. So they had to actually learn the language, be able to communicate with people to get on the right way in just 16 days. Which, by the way, if we compare Japan's size to California, it's about like Japan's a little smaller. A little smaller.
Maps do not do it justice then, because it looks much smaller than.
No, I think it's just a little smaller. But I think California, like we can compare the sizes of them.
Yeah.
Right.
They're comparable.
If you went on California, I feel like you would still to get like you can do California in 2 days.
Yeah,
right?
especially
You can do
California has the I-5 goes top to the bottom.
Top to the bottom, right? Japan's road system is way more difficult, right?
Yeah.
So, but to do let's say you didn't know English, right? In California, you didn't have any maps. And you're coming from Japan. You're doing the same thing, tip to tip, California, right? You wouldn't be able to get like you would genuinely get lost. Like I think you would. It's so difficult.
That's
still.
fair.
Like, let's say because they weren't allowed to use highways either.
Oh,
right?
Because
in tip to tip they weren't allowed to use highways.
Yeah.
So let's just say they weren't allowed to use like major highways like I-5, and.
10, there's 10, 20, 30.
10, yeah.
And 40, I believe.
Well, that goes all across. But, yeah, pretty much no, 15. 15 was up.
Yeah,
I don't know road systems.
No, because 5, 15, 25, all down this way. 10, 20, all those this
up.
way.
Yeah, so it'd be the 15. Or the 15 up, right? So none of those big highways. You have to take like the 101 and then you take 405, so 405, 101, and then take a lot of random roads.
Yeah.
Try to get to where you want to go. And I feel like you could also, it'd be hard to do that in 16 days, right? Without like, by the way, the same rules as tip to tip apply. For someone maybe who's a Japanese speaker.
And we'll probably put the tip maybe in the citations document as well.
Yeah, we'll put it in the citation document, but I'm sure you guys know what it is. Yeah. But we are thinking of doing a trip in 2027. I know it's in like 2 years. But we were planning that this would happen after our freshman year of college because we would be a little bit more independent, be able to prove to our parents that we can actually live on our own. Yeah. And also, we would both be 18, which means we could actually rent hotels, rent a car, etc., etc. We cannot do that at the moment because, we are both minors and we will still be minors when we go into college.
Yeah.
So what do we want to do in that trip? What do we want to do?
At least for me. So I'm a big martial arts junkie. I've been doing it for past like I think 8 years at this point actually. And at least my karate dojo, they go on Japan trips every 4 years. I've never gone on one of them. But there's a lot of stuff in Japan that at least pertains to martial arts that I've been wanting to go to.
Like sumo?
Yeah, sumo.
In tip to tip, they try to go to sumo, right?
Oh no.
They try to go to sumo and they failed because they didn't buy tickets ahead of time.
Oh.
So they failed. But you're on the right track. There, you're on the right track. You're doing the
But
same
not
thing
not
as
just
tip to tip.
sumo, but also like there's a lot of like different like schools there.
Yeah, for
There
sure.
was I forgot exactly what the itinerary of my dojo is, but they went to like a katana training school, and they spent an entire day there learning like the ways of the sword and just learning different weapon arts. That interests me a lot, and I would definitely want to go do that. Especially just like I have experience. If I go with you, I wanted to see like how you do on that.
Oh my God, Rob! No, I'm not doing martial arts. But yeah, for me, obviously, I'm the more weeby one, right? So I'd be doing the more anime-related stuff.
Yep.
I'm taking a full suitcase, or not an empty suitcase,
Just
an
for the
extra one
anime
just for that.
figurines.
Or I'll buy one in Japan.
Speaking of
but
figurines, by the way.
Yes. Oh, right. I completely forgot about that. This has slipped my mind. So these figurines, they pertain to something in this video, some sort of topic that we're going to discuss in this video itself. Now, it does not. It's not related to Japan. It's just related to a certain topic. We might have already talked about it. Maybe we haven't. But it's up to you to figure out what that is. Write in the comments what my and I represent. Right. They both represent some sort of mini topic. Honestly, the connections are a little bit loose. This is sort of like a last minute thing that I thought of. So, try to see what they both fit.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway, the Japan trip, right? I want to do some anime stuff. But I also just want to go see the nature and natural beauty
Yeah,
of
no,
Japan.
definitely. At least me personally, I'm a nature kind of guy when I go on trips.
Me too.
I don't really like sightseeing inside cities. I never really liked New York because of that.
Yeah, I think we're opposite that way. I still like the city, but
Yeah.
I definitely want to see the Sakura. I've never seen
Yeah.
it. At least it's been such a long time since I've seen one. I went to Portland and I think I saw some sort of cherry blossom sort of plant, species of one. But I definitely want to go during April. So maybe that
Yes.
early season.
Spring break, maybe.
Spring break maybe, and so
Yeah.
it could be any place, but obviously spring break wouldn't be enough, I don't think. But I definitely want to do stuff like
Yeah.
that. And I want to see Mount Fuji. I want to go. I
Yeah.
want to basically do tip to tip, but without the whole translator part. I don't think we
Yeah.
would be able to do
I
that.
don't. At least me, I do not want to learn another language. I know it's three at this
Yeah.
point, and that is already way too much for me.
Yeah, I would try. I'm definitely gonna learn a little bit of Japanese, but I think that we just want to experience Japan in not the tip to tip way, because I feel like that's more of a challenge.
Yeah.
You just want to do, rent a car, using maps. We'll use highways and whatever, prepay all those tolls, and then just
Yeah.
sort of go up in Japan, see all the sights. Spend 2 weeks kind of driving, and just checking out some amazing places. If you've seen, do you know Abroad in Japan?
I think so. I don't know. I'm not sure.
So Abroad in Japan, he makes videos kind of around Japan. Like he goes around Japan and he will do videos basically with some friends. Sea Dog, Connor.
Yeah, yeah.
Connor. He did the charity auction and then the
Yep.
cyclothon and all of some other stuff. And he obviously they're the group. Him, Connor, Joey, and Garnt. These are the other three that run the Trash Taste podcast.
Yeah.
Which is honestly what this podcast is kind
Yeah.
of based on. We take inspiration.
A lot
from
of
them.
inspiration was taken from other podcasts. Like,
Yeah,
For example, what
Trash
was,
Taste.
and Chuckle Sandwich as well.
Yeah, and Chuckle Sandwich, and also the Lemonade Stand.
Yeah.
New one by. Actually, I think they started after us, so we can't really take inspiration from
Yeah.
them. But anyways, so abroad in Japan, he goes around Japan and he basically makes some videos, basically in different regions, talking about food. I'm a big foodie. Right,
Same
I like
here,
food.
same
I
here.
like food. So I definitely want to try out a lot of the food that he talks about, because he goes and he tries out food in like Hokkaido, in that kind of upper region of Japan. I forget what it's called, and then even the lower region of Japan. And not just that. I believe he also does stuff basically on Japanese culture, like different things like going to older Japanese houses. At least that's what I remember from one of the parts.
Are those
on
people
Lower
the guys
Japan.
that get the Dr. Peppered? the Dr. Pepper guy.
No, so that's Cole. Cole, I think Dr. Pepper guy got big because of Cole.
Oh yeah,
Tokyo Sims, if you know. He's another Japanese content, Asian content creator. He makes some like, he's a Asian content creator.
Yeah.
Right, that's all I can say. And I mean, he's a little different though. He doesn't do anything. He just does interviews, Shibuya Street interviews, which I'm like, what's going on in Shibuya at this point? You know, I don't even know what's going on there anymore. It's just whatever. Anything else that you want to talk about in the Japan trip?
No, I don't think so. At least not yet. But we have big plans for that. So
we do have big plans.
Hopefully that makes it out of the group chat.
Yeah, it'll make it out. We'll definitely update you guys when we have some more information on stuff
if this podcast survived till then, which hopefully it does. Then we might vlog.
Honestly, we might just do it anyways, even if it doesn't survive. Like I think we're gonna go to different colleges most likely. So we will attempt to continue it. That's why we're doing the VR chat stuff, because then in college we can actually just split up our resources and film that, because it's easier to do that over the internet.
And it's kind of fun because you can do so much more in VR chat than just sitting here and
of course. And of course, we can use these to just walk around our room basically. We have 2 microphones we can use. Time
to learn how to do a backflip. So
and then obviously this will be used for the guest mic.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about the state of the world. This is a hard topic. We're computer science majors.
Yeah, so at least we'll be talking about it from a tech standpoint, because that's kind of us.
Yeah, obviously we're not going to talk about the politics, because there's a lot of stuff that's going on in the world that is politics based, right? We're going to leave politics out of this. We made a rule that we're not going to talk about politics, just because we don't want to get some details wrong. Yeah. Right.
Bias will always be there, but we want to minimize it and try to get as accurate as possible. Yeah. Like we said in the first episode as well.
Yeah. So we're going to focus on, I think, a little bit of a different topic on the state of the world. Generally speaking, a little bit on job security. Yeah.
So just talking about that, I feel like the comp sci market, this job market at least, has gone it's gone down at least. It's harder to get jobs, especially with and this we might talk about this later on maybe in a different episode as well, but different studios closing down, like for example Hightail.
We're going to talk about this on the next episode actually.
Yeah, but like it's been going down. A lot of layoffs been happening. So
yeah, a lot of layoffs, and generally speaking, I think as we look at AI sort of coming, software engineering as a job no longer seems.
It's harder to do, especially with the term now that's come out, vibe coding.
Yeah, I think it's not just hard to do, it's sort of becoming obsolete. Yeah. Right? I mean, every jobs will become obsolete. We have been born at an unfortunate time to be just a programmer. There's so much more that has to be done now. Like, I think in the future, people aren't just going to be able to do just a single job. It's going to be so many jobs just combined together, like being a software engineer, but at the same time being in a business-related role, being, in a management, leadership-related role.
And, like, I've seen a lot of colleges start, like, making programs for, like, double majoring in, like, comp sci and in management and business.
Yeah, I mean, a ton of them. And it's not just, like, double majoring anymore. It is a combined major. Yeah. Like Northeastern, very popular for having the CS plus X. They have CS plus game design, CS plus business, CS plus economics, CS plus they have like 50 different degrees, right? I mean, obviously, if you go to the more like bigger schools, or not bigger schools, but more prestigious schools, you're still gonna have those core basics. But even the Ivy League schools like Brown have like build your own degree roles. Yeah. Right. You can build your own degree to a standpoint where it's like. I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but
I'll take for example UPenn. They have a new program with their Wharton School of Business and their School of Engineering, which is literally just like you take classes at both and you get a major at both of them. So it's like there's programs coming out for this because in the end, comp sci is becoming more and more obsolete as AI is taking it over.
I think comp sci is not becoming obsolete. Comp sci is changing. Yeah. I think the right term to say is programming is becoming more obsolete.
That's fair. Yeah.
And I think that programming is sort of vibe coding will
Yeah.
take it over. Maybe you're going to use a different term in the future, but vibe coding sort of
I
will
feel
take
like
it
vibe
over.
coding though, it's not. It feels like vibe coding is kind of a. It's an easy way out, but it's not always like accurate. For example, I've seen, for example, a hackathon I went to. I saw someone. This was actually one of our first hackathon wins.
OC?
Not OC. After that, crack the code.
Oh, CTC. Okay.
Yeah, and in that one, I saw someone who was fully coding the entire thing with an AI. Now that was kind of a shocker to me. At least at that point, that was like I think a year or two back.
2 years now, I think.
Yeah, and that was kind of a
1 year.
shocker, or I think 1.5.
1.5, yeah.
That was kind of a shocker to me, just because it seemed weird that they were trying to get the entire thing done with AI, and if you don't know how to code like originally, using an AI to code the entire thing, you don't know what your error is. It's like putting, it's like you're trying to learn a language by only memorizing the characters and not understanding what the characters mean. Because without knowing exactly what it means, you're not going to be able to actually debug your own code. And that's like what I feel is a kind of a major drawback on vibe coding that keeps us at least in the limelight, in the space that we actually have a chance.
Yeah, for sure. But I also think that like, I don't know. This is a hard topic. I'm gonna take devil's advocate for a second here. I want to say that vibe coding, although this might not be exactly what I believe, I'm gonna take devil's advocate, right?
Yeah.
Vibe coding can introduce efficiency.
Yeah,
right.
no,
Vibe coding is efficient.
that. Yeah. For example, like at least me, I use Google Copilot or GitHub Copilot a lot. Google Copilot. Oh no, Google's taking over everything. But I use GitHub Copilot a lot, especially in my programming. For example, I know it's not you're not technically supposed to do this, but I do like if statements that are like 10 else cases long sometimes, and I don't want to have to code all of that. So GitHub Copilot, it's like it makes it more efficient. It's like I can just autocomplete all of that.
Yeah, but I feel like GitHub Copilot might be a little bit different. Copilot is more of like that's more of a tool. I think let's go on to a tool like Cursor.
Oh yeah.
For a second.
Cursor.
Let me talk about Cursor. So Cursor, if you don't know, is a tool which is more of is a bit more it's a little less interactive than GitHub Copilot, because in Copilot you still have to program, and then while you're programming, GitHub Copilot will give you some suggestions. Right? Maybe this is what you're trying to write here.
Yeah.
Based on your previous code and stuff. Cursor can still do that. I think so. But also, Cursor is like a full IDE in which you basically just type your idea in, and it will basically make something for you. Now, I believe that in taking devil's advocate again here, I think that this can increase accessibility to programming, right?
Yep.
I mean, we don't need to use tools like Wix and WordPress. They were not really that great tools. I mean, they're wonderful tools, yes, but honestly, programming is always going to be on top, at least with flexibility.
Yeah, at least what I tell all my relatives and even my sister is that like making a website from like programming, it's always going to be better than making it with Wix, because you can do so much more. You have so much more accessibility, customizability, and you can do exactly what you want it to do rather than having to like finagle around inside like a simple, it's like a builder.
Simplified editor, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think another thing is that I think that vibe coding also has some benefits, right? Instead of spending all of our time programming, we can spend more time innovating, thinking, right? Coding is more of a, like, it is that end product now, coding. We can do more of that thinking before. We have more time to think. I mean, games like GTA 6 have been in development for such a long time. And I'm sure a majority of that has been art and doing programming and stuff like that. Now, this is not saying that let me separate these two things. Coding is different than generative art.
Yeah.
Right? Using AI for coding is way different than using AI for generative art. Generative art removes creativity.
Yeah.
Generative art, let's just say this right now, generative AI for art is bad.
At
right?
least, I fully believe that as well. And like at least because it takes out creativity, but also it takes away the job from a different, more qualified artist, someone who could have actually need this artwork, someone who could have showed their skill, someone who.
But I think it's also just a thing of like it is just it's taking away creativity.
Yeah, no.
Programming is not very creative. The actual idea itself is creative.
Yeah.
Right, and that's what I think AI tools will help. instead of doing programming, which is kind of a mundane task.
It's well, okay,
It's
I
more
feel
of the
like
creativity. Yes, there is an artistic ability
yeah,
in coding, but it's a lot about logic. It's
yeah.
just logic.
Okay, the at least, and I agree with that as well. But I have a kind of a different stance on this as well, which is the creative aspect of coding is that how you apply that logic. But like for example, the logic, there's different logic for everything, and there's a different way to apply everything. But actually applying that logic, I believe AI can help you with that. For example, like I said, I use if statements.
Mm-hmm.
Someone else could use a switch statement, or someone else could have a different way of implementing this code.
Yeah, exactly.
Using Cursor to implement that idea or that way could be useful.
Yeah, I think definitely like. I mean, you still have to tell Cursor what you're doing,
Yeah.
right? Cursor can't just read your mind,
Yeah.
right? So Cursor, once you tell it what to do, yes, it will give you something basic, but you need to know that programming knowledge to be able to first of all fix the bugs that it'll create, because AI will never be perfect.
Yeah.
Just like we're never perfect, AI will never be perfect. It is going to become better and better to where it's like 99% accurate, but you still need to check that code and make sure that it's not going to, like, someone built a SaaS solution. Someone was telling me from one of my mom's friend was telling me that someone built a SaaS solution, posted it on LinkedIn, and said, "Oh, I could do all of this with vibe coding." It was hacked within 24 hours.
Oh.
So, just saying, like, you still need to know how to code and how to properly debug and make that code secure and actually work properly. Like, you still need to know that programming knowledge, but the vibe coding will help you, or at least be a tool so that you can build faster, be able to have an idea that's innovative, because now you can spend more time thinking of an idea. Because in the real world, when you're doing a startup, right, that's all based on you're gonna have to pay some people. Right. Maybe if you're just doing it with your friends, maybe you can get out of paying some people, but you still gotta pay some people, right? And the less time you can pay them for to get that product out into the world, the more time you can spend, you can pay them for thinking is better, right? If you're just paying them for programming, like, I mean, at that point, just use an AI, right? If you're just gonna pay someone for programming, yes, still pay them, but using that AI tool, you can pay them less actually, but spend your money on their mind, their intelligence, rather than their programming skills. I think that is we're going to be spending money on people's minds and then their ability to create, rather than spending money on people's programming skills. All right. So another thing that I wanted to say in terms of vibe coding, and especially when we were talking about generative AI art. Right. Google VO3.
VO3 just, I think, came out pretty recently. I've seen some videos from it. It's crazy what it can do. Yes,
it is. It is crazy. We were talking about generative AI art. I think that VO3 is a little bit different. Right. It's not. It is not. It's not necessarily maybe trained on, like, it's not gonna produce art styles. Or maybe if it does, if it produces like animation and stuff, that's when it becomes a problem. For realism-based stuff, maybe not, right? Maybe that's not the good option. Maybe that's not a good option. But it can do stuff that maybe, it might have been harder, right? Now I'm not saying, I feel like it still definitely takes away a lot of people's jobs.
Especially like SFX and actors. With a generation.
But I still think that, because like I feel like you still need to act it out. But Google VO3 can maybe help you do some of that last minute. Maybe if you wanted to add a car crash, right, you could do that with VO3. Add a second car if you couldn't do that while you're filming.
So I think for that it could be good. But I feel like also VO3, with its accessibility and Google pushing towards making it accessible, I feel like in playing like towards the more pessimist here, people are gonna be using this to like take away jobs from actors.
100%.
And I feel like that's where it can start to go downhill and not really be the best idea.
I think at the current moment, it is not good enough to be constituted as maybe something that could replace people. VO3, let me tell you, this is not good enough yet, right? It is still, it can still make a lot of mistakes. But it has 4K output. It's an incredible improvement over their previous video generation, which is VO2. I mean, it creates pretty much near realistic. I mean, there are some errors here and there, but it's pretty good. It can frame. It knows how to make that video look good, and it has audio generation capability. So you don't have to. It can do everything. It's an all-in-one package,
Yeah.
right? But in the end, I mean, it does take away a lot of that creativity that goes
Yeah.
into making a film and making something that looks good. Yes, it's an incredible feat of engineering and technology, but is it a good thing?
I
That's up
don't.
to you to
Yeah.
decide.
And have you seen the ad that was fully made with AI?
Which one? Was it like a company or was it Google?
I think it was a
Google's ad?
company. Some company made an entire like product ad that was entirely AI generated. I feel
Yeah,
like
see, that's like the bad. That's
Yeah.
like not what you should be doing.
Yeah.
You should be using it for as a tool, like small little things. Like if you messed up
Yeah.
somewhere in the recording, and there maybe, you know what? I actually have an idea, right? And what if you messed up something in your recording, right? Maybe a mic fell
Yeah.
into view, or a light is in view. With VO3, instead of going through every single frame and removing that light, doing a
Yep.
tedious process just because you made a mistake, put it into VO3, right? I'm not sure exactly if VO3 can do this. I've not had hands-on experience, but maybe in the future we can have tools like this where you just put something in and you can erase that mistake, just as you can go into like Apple's AI creator or Samsung's AI creator or some sort of AI removal tool, maybe Adobe, and circle something and say I want to remove this.
Yeah, and I feel like that can be good for last minute effects, but also paying the VFX artist to be able to do that. That should also still be an option, especially because
Yeah.
I feel like VO3 will take away jobs from people that are like VFX artists, or people that are in this field have some like stress in their job security because of tools like this.
Nightshade,
Yeah,
which
it's an AI poisoner. That's kind of an oversimplification, but basically it takes artwork and it kind of changes the actual, I think the actual like programming and the actual data behind the image, and it alters it in a way that to a human, to us, it's imperceivable to be different. But to an AI, it looks different. It looks unpredictable. So for example, you put a cat picture into it, and to us it outputs a cat picture, but to an AI it outputs a dog picture. So when an AI is being trained off of that, if an AI is trained off of that, then to us the art is indistinguishable. So we don't see any negative effect of it. But to an AI, when it tries to train off of it, it goes in the opposite direction, and it kind of becomes a negative for the AI.
the problem with Nightshade is it's reversible.
Yeah.
Right. There's many tools out there. For example, a person by the name of Richard Aragon, if I'm saying that right, uses some image forensics tools to check images for changes. Basically, how and using that plus, and we can use that in since not everyone does Nightshade, right?
Yeah.
People, AI companies could use that and reverse it. Or not reverse it, but take that and be like, we're gonna disclude it from our data set,
Yeah.
right?
So I feel like it's AI. Nightshade is definitely a step in the right direction, if you want to say, but it definitely has a lot of improvements that can be done. It has a lot of drawbacks and
I mean, there's no,
positives.
I mean, I wouldn't say there's any drawbacks. I would say that there is. It does protect your artwork.
Yeah.
Let's be real. It does protect your artwork.
Yeah.
Right. If you don't want it to be trained on it, yes, it's fine. But you, as an individual, are probably not really helping, are not really harming them, right?
Yeah.
For this to actually work, every single data set in the world, every single image needs to be poisoned to a level where no images can possibly exist that are AI generated, or not just AI generated, but are real artworks, so that it will poison every single AI, which is just impossible because we already have like thousands of years of
Yeah.
artworks and so many years of archived artworks that are not poisoned, that this will never come to fruition, right? Even if you used every single artwork from the past 2,000 years, like even modern artworks included plus past artworks, you would never be able to do
And
that.
I feel like as well,
And
there's
you
so
can
many
scan
AI.
it. You can scan it.
Yeah, and there's so many AIs that exist already that are like not poisoned off. They're not already poisoned. That actually like Nightshade can't affect those AIs. It can only affect the newer
Future.
AIs.
And realistically, it's not going to.
Yeah.
Right? We have so much archive already that we've created. That doesn't really matter.
It's like eating one like apple seed. The cyanide in that is not going to do anything.
Yeah. And Well, I don't know about that one. That analogy kind of breaks down a little bit as you think about,
Well,
you know,
okay, it's one
what are
apple seed.
archives? What are yeah, yeah, it's like one apple seed. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You know, if you eat one apple seed, you'll be fine. Right?
yeah,
That's a very little level of cyanide.
yeah.
Okay, anyway, so we're going to end it off here.
Yep.
We're going to come back to you the next episode with a lot more tech, with some tech news and maybe some stuff based on how hard it is to find tech news,
Yeah.
right? And to basically find out good stuff and be able to put that into a video. Obviously, and if you have those answers for those anime figures, please put them down below. And what are those characters what do they represent in the video? Because they do represent two things. They're a little bit loose.
Yeah.
Honestly,
The connections are a bit like they're kind of jank, but they work. If
they
you can
work,
find them.
kind of they work.
Yeah.
Like I feel like some of the details might be wrong. Maybe I'll give a little bit of hint for her. She died. Okay, sorry for spoiling that. It's only the first episode, so like she dies, right? So, and that has to do with maybe what she used to do prior, right? And maybe
Yeah.
some topic here might deal with jobs. I don't know. But anyways, right? My is a little bit. She has a little bit of a more concrete understanding of what
Yep.
what her figure represents. Anything else you want to discuss before we end it off here today?
I don't believe so. I think that's it.
All right, this will be our longest episode, I think,
Yeah.
by far. It's about 50-ish minutes long.
Yeah.
40-ish minutes maybe. We'll see how much we have to cut down. But yeah, have fun, and that's the end of study hall.
Thank you.